Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ryan, and I like to do a little thing once a month, call it a Bible study, devotional, just encouragement for you guys out there listening and watching. And right now our church is in a series called For the Streets, because we believe that Jesus was for the streets, and we've already talked about multiple different stories in the Bible where people encountered Jesus and now their lives are changed. And today, before we jump into our story, I wanted to know how your Thanksgiving was. So drop in the comment section and just let me know maybe how far you or a family member traveled to be home for Thanksgiving, or just tell me something you're thankful for. I know Tyler and I didn't have to travel super far, but we did travel to multiple different places and homes to be able to see everyone for Thanksgiving. And we also hosted our very own Thanksgiving here at our house. So we have been very, very busy. And when I think about Thanksgiving and preparing a big meal and all of these things, especially preparing a big meal for someone special, it reminds me of a story in the Bible, the one about Mary and Martha. And you can find that story in Luke 10:38 through 42. I'm going to go ahead and read it to us really quick. As Jesus and the disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. Her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he taught. But Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She came to Jesus and she said, "Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits here while I do all the work? Tell her to come and help me." But the Lord said to her, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about, and Mary has found it, and it will not be taken away from her." So let's go back up to the beginning really quickly. It says that Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing, and she came to Jesus with what I would assume was out of frustration. And because she said, "It's unfair that my sister just gets to sit here while I do all the work." And doesn't that sound familiar? I know it does for me. You want help from your family, right? So that you can be present too. And with Mary and Martha, Jesus didn't ask for her to prepare anything. I think he just wanted her to be present. You can get more done, or you can do more trying to prepare for Jesus when all he asks is that you sit with him. So look at his response to her frustration. He says, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about, and Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her." The very beginning, his first two words, he says, "My dear." And I was curious, what does dear mean? So I looked it up, and the definition is to regard with deep affection or cherished by someone. One, not even in my notes, to be cherished by God, to be cherished by Jesus is just wow, you know. And when I read that, I hear a soft, caring voice. I think Jesus is showing his understanding to her frustration, but he's also revealing to her what is more important, and he's doing it in a patient and in a loving way because he cherishes her. And so for me, sometimes when I'm reading, I like to replace other people's names with my own, just so you can see Jesus talking directly to yourself, right? So I would read that as, "My dear Ryan, you are worried and upset about all these details, whether it be financially, relationally, socially, mentally, and you think you have to accomplish school or get better at that gift or that talent, or even find your purpose to be able to sit with Jesus. And that is just not the case. And I'm here to remind you that that is not true. God isn't waiting on you to get ready for you to be able to come sit with him. He just wants you to come right now. with whatever you're feeling. You could be hurting, sad, depressed, broken. You could be happy, excited, whatever it is. All he wants you to do is come, sit with him, listen to him, hear what he has to say. You don't have to worry or be upset that about anything. You can just come and sit with him. You don't have to have your life together to sit with him. You don't have to be financially stable to sit with him. You don't have to be emotionally okay to sit with him. You don't have to have a man. You don't need anything to sit with Jesus. And that's what he says to Martha. We just read it. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her. And what was Mary doing? She was sitting and listening to Jesus, sitting and spending time with him. That meal, those dishes, that laundry, don't allow it to distract you from what is more important. Your relationship with Jesus is so, so very important. And this story reminds me so much of Thanksgiving, just having all my family and friends together, and how much time you can miss trying to prepare for them when they're already there, and you kind of forget what you're preparing for. So for me, I know I would much rather order the food and pick it up so that I can cherish every amount of time that I have with my family, especially my family that is only here for a few hours or a couple days. And as I read this, I also see how easy Mary or Martha could have distracted Mary, right? Martha could have easily distracted her and had her come and help with whatever cooking or cleaning that she needed done, had Jesus himself not been there to remind her of what was more important. Dear Martha, you are worried about all these details. Stop allowing them to distract you. There's only one thing worth being concerned about, and Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her. So again, dear whatever your name is that's watching this right now, when you're feeling anxious and concerned, just go sit with Jesus. When distractions in life start bringing you worry and frustration, go sit with Jesus. When you don't know what the next step is for you, go sit with Jesus. His word says that he brings peace and love and joy and comfort and understanding. So whatever it is you're searching for, the best place to find it is at the feet of Jesus. So my answer for anything will always be Jesus. There might be another action that needs to take place, but the first thing that you should do is bring whatever it is that's causing you pain, suffering, frustration, confusion to the feet of Jesus. Always start there. Always start by bringing it to him and surrounding yourself with people who love you, encourage you, and build you up. That's what we like to do here at Different. Friendships that last a lifetime. Friendships where there is intentionality and accountability and encouragement. And so if you're watching this right now and you need to surround yourself with some better friends, reach out to us. Follow us on our other socials, because I would love to connect with you. But I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving, and I hope you have an amazing rest of the year, and I will see you next time.